Good afternoon. I'm Sarah Ellsworth Hoffman, and welcome to this week's edition of a brand new show called The Goldie Show. Our host, Goldie, firmly believes that everyday people are worth more than gold. Today, Goldie's guest comes to us via Cameroon in Africa by way of France. Dr. Mahmouda Salouhou joins us to share his experiences as a professor of leadership, cultural diversity, and international business as the director of the European Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship Education. Now let's join Goldie and her guest, Dr. Salouhou.
Hi, welcome to Goldie Show. Today I have Dr. Mahmouda Salouhou. Hello, Dr. Salouhou.
Hello, Goldie.
How are you?
I am doing great, thank you.
It's a great honor to have you on my show today.
It's an honor for me to be here.
Okay, let's start with first where you were originally from and what inspired you to travel different countries that I know that you have, and what brings you to United States and especially Fort Wayne.
Oh, my goodness. How many days do we have?
You tell me.
Okay, so I will try to be as brief as possible.
Okay.
One of the challenges of academics is that we tend to do a dissertation when answering questions.
Okay.
But I promise I will do my best to be as synthetic as possible.
No problem.
Is that okay?
The floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you. So, I was born and raised in Cameroon, where I did all my studies. And upon completing the high school, I received the Cameroonian government scholarship to study in France.
Wow.
So, and maybe in between, I will share some of the anecdotes with you.
Please.
So, here I am flying to France, for the first time of my life. As a young adult, I'm going to take an airplane to go to France.
Were you all excited?
I was excited and anxious at the same time because, we have all the anecdotes about Paris, France, Europe is covered with glass. And so, the whole country is under a roof made out of glass.
Okay, Dr. Salouhou, from what I'm understanding, you are originally from Cameroon, Africa. And when you got the opportunity to go to France to study, what was the feeling or how you felt?
Well, first of all, there's a great weight on your shoulder because this is a government scholarship, which means, you are selected. The selection is on merit. You have to perform really well during the last 3 years in a high school. So, and then every month, the stipend that you receive by the government, every month, it could support 10 other Cameroonian students in Cameroon. So right there you start feeling the sense of responsibility and accountability toward the country and your other Cameroonian fellow who did not have this opportunity.
So basically you were representing Cameroon, Africa.
Well, I would say I was selected among many others. So I had the responsibility to show a good face of Cameroonian outside Cameroon. So, there was two, we were two. The girl with me, Natalie, had many cousins in Paris. But remember, I'm from a little tiny village, so I know nobody in the family in Paris. So as her family knew that she was coming, they all came to the airport. And here I am, nobody waiting for me except the
family of
because the Cameroonian government have agreement with a national agency, French national agency. So they send a driver with a van to pick us at the airport. Now, family member around Natalie, they were talking. And the poor guy looked at me, I was with my little suitcase like this.
But did you know any language, French?
Yes, I was speaking French.
One? Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so then he feels so sorry and he said, is it okay? Do you mind having some tea while she's socializing? I went, yeah. So And then the cafeteria was at the early airport was upstairs.
Oh, I see.
So you need to take escalator of stair. And boy, that was one of the first horrible experience for me, because I was here looking at the escalator. I never faced one in reality before. And I have to take the escalator. I'm looking at the escalator like this and so on. Even though I was very good in physics and mathematics, right? So I could solve any kind of problem, physics, mechanical problem, etc. But I never took an elevator or escalator.
That was the one.
And that was the one. So I took a deep breath and jumped and grabbed the escalator like this. And the guy was so, he was embarrassed, right? So then on the way down, he said, let's take the stair, okay? So there's a, story that you always keep. And
it's a memory that you won't forget.
No, it's a memory that you won't forget.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, with all your educational background, what have you majored in? What are your majors?
Well, I have majored in medical science engineering, social strategy development, industrial management, and leadership.
Wow.
So I have 3 master's degrees, one in medical science engineering, one in social strategy development, and one in industrial management. And my PhD is in global leadership education.
Wonderful. Now, I know you were in France, you were studying. Did you graduate in France, correct?
Yes, actually, I did all my graduate study in France and came to America to attend a 3-month program called Team Certificate at the University of Washington. And before the end of the program director came to me and said, Salouhou, you stay with me.
Awesome.
And I'm like, okay, why is that? So, because he realized that my cultural background was something useful, because, he was running this huge composite laboratory and we were doing a lot of work with Boeing. And so we had many international faculty, company, etc. So he needed someone who will be culturally agile in order to accommodate all these different people. And that's one of the first reasons why he hired me. And later on, I started running the program. So I was running a continuing education program, research program.
Mm-hmm.
So I run many research programs with the NASA, Air Force, Navy, etc. And so that's when I discovered that I needed a PhD. So I said, if I'm to do a PhD, it has to be in something that I'm passionate about. So out of what I observed, the common denominator is that we are dealing with people. So knowledge comes in, innovation comes and wipes what we know, etc., etc. What we learn today will no longer be true tomorrow.
Now, with all this, studying and, coming here and all, in the meantime, were you married, planning to get married?
Yes, actually, thank you very much. I got married when I was doing my first master's degree. So all this venture, my second master's degree, I was already a dad. When I moved here, I had 2 children. Mm-hmm. And today I have 3 children. My older is 17,
wow.
But he's 6.7.
Taller than you?
He's way taller than me. So sometimes he would stand by me and say, Daddy, where are you? So I'm a tall man. As you can see.
Wow, you are really tall.
I'm really a tall man. Okay?
Yes. Okay. I agree with you.
As you can see.
Yes.
But my son is really, really tall.
With all these things, now I know you say you speak so many languages. How many languages do you speak?
Well, I fluently speak 7 languages.
So you outbeat me. I speak 6, but you speak 7. So you did beat me in that level.
Well, you can say that. Okay, thank you.
Now I know you come to United States often.
Yes.
And why you chose Fort Wayne? I know.
Do you want to know the real story?
Yes, I just laid out there.
Okay, so there are two reasons. Okay, the first reason is because the Chancellor Mosher and I have worked for over 10 years.
Wow.
In Washington State. So curriculum innovation, curriculum design, some symposium, etc. When she moved here, she called me and said, look, Salou, for what you are doing, there are a lot of opportunity here. I said, well, I'm coming to visit you. She said, welcome. So I came in here, I landed, I flew in, I took a red-eye flight. Is that correct? Red-eye flight, right? So I landed at Fort Wayne International Airport, right? And here are this retiree lady hand me a cookie.
Cookie?
Yes.
Well, now what kind of a cookie? You got to specify now. Is it chocolate chip cookie? It's a peanut butter?
It's a peanut butter cookie.
Okay.
A small cookie.
Small
like
cookie.
This. Yes. And that was my, in sociology, we call this emotional imprint.
Okay.
The first contact with Fort Wayne was that cookie. And I asked her, I said, are you promoting this or do you work for any company? She said, no. It's just we welcome you as our guest.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow.
How did it make you feel?
I was shivering, really. Because, I come from a culture where the guest is honor. Have
you ever come across any obstacles or some kind of some people try to do something and you come across difficulties, and how did you overcome all those things? You have to go through certain channels. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Well, now what most people call obstacle, and this
challenges.
Challenge, and I would say this is somehow my shortcoming, because I always look at this as opportunity to improve myself, to do better.
Wonderful.
Okay. Why? Because, when I was young in Cameroon, we were so poor. I brought some surprise picture for you, okay? As you can see here, this is my teenage.
And now, which one is you? This one or this one?
This is me.
Oh, okay? Wow.
And you can see no shoes, barely no shoes.
Oh, wow. Okay? Here's him, and there's no shoes. Yeah. That's Dr. Salouhou.
So, and then you have to survive. And there are days where you wake up, your project of the day is to find, that first meal of the day. And it's a hassle. When you get the meal, you are like, okay, now I'm ready to die. The mission accomplished, okay? So, you are conditioned to really find a way to make it, okay? And at one point of my life, there was another opportunity.
I see you have shoes.
Yes, this was break dance. I was
break dance. Are you trying to copy Michael Jackson now?
Well, we needed to make money, and as you can see on this picture, people will be around throwing money.
Wonderful.
And I have my assistant picking up the money.
So you were a dancer with the people throwing money, wow, exactly. You were rich then, huh?
Well, rich. It depends, okay?
I hope you're enjoying Goldie's interview with Dr. Salouhou. I'm Sarah Ellsworth Hoffman, and you're watching The Goldie Show. The Goldie Show is a half-hour treat with our host, Goldie, interviewing folks from different walks of life who are making a positive difference in our community. You can see The Goldie Show every Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock. You can connect The Goldie Show by checking us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on our website, goldieshow.com. Now let's go back to Goldie and her interview with Dr. Salouhou.
With all the obstacles that you've gone through and overcome, tell us something about your mission and about your company and your goal.
Okay, as I said in the beginning, I'm full-time director of the European Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship Education, which is an independent institute that is specialized in curriculum innovation and design, research, and workforce development. So what we do in this organization is we work with public-private institutions to define and design the need of workforce of today and tomorrow. Okay. Now, our work touches different category of population. It goes from executive. So last year we had our executive leadership seminar in Versailles, Paris, and this was open for executive. And the idea behind this leadership seminar was to connect some of the U.S.-based executive with their history, because in Versailles was the place that U.S. was recognized as a sovereign nation.
Oh wow!
And this was based on the teaching of the leadership diamond methodology with Professor Peter Kusterman and myself. And the other category that our program target and that we work with are the middle managers, those who are concerned, career, family, etc., etc. And then where my passion also resides is when designing leadership program for underprivileged or underserved community. So today, part of the reason why I'm in Fort Wayne currently is because we have designed a program called STEM Plus. Now, STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Our program is called STEM Plus, and the plus component is what makes the difference. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Now, I know you are going to ask me, what does it mean, STEM Plus, right? So
how did you know that?
Well, I can read in your mind, okay? So
I'm glad you do.
Yeah, so the plus part is because we want engineer with purpose. Okay. We have medical doctor with purpose. Now it's time to reconnect and reconcile with ourselves, meaning that we need to stop, excelling to serve our ego and greed. So what we are doing is we are bringing this kit together to learn and to do mistakes in a protected environment.
Now, with so much people you bring from different countries over here, the cultural, the diversity, when you carry out these kinds of mission, I bet you there's a challenge over there.
Okay.
And how you move forward with it.
Well, now, I study cultural diversity, and we have what we call intercultural diversity and intracultural variability, which means, just if you allow me to side out here to make some theory here, if you compare Japan and the United States, they are totally different.
Oh, yes.
They are different than Europe also, right? However, if you take a youth population of Japan and compare them with youth population of France, you will see that these youth have more similarity than their parents in their own country, because they all tweet, they all do Facebook, etc. It all depends on what you are looking for. Now we have experienced that. So when we bring in the students, some of them are challenged because they are outside their natural habitat. And that's exactly the goal and the mission of the program.
That's fantastic. I know you're traveling now, and I know that you have a project manager, Miss Aisha, with you.
Yes.
Is there any way we can have her on the show?
Yes, we can have Miss Aisha on the show.
And what does she do exactly for you?
Well, as you notice during this interview, I talk about many projects. And this project is done because I have a wonderful team behind me. And she's one of the team that really support all this activity, because we have our virtual university, we have programs, etc. And she's the one behind this to organize so that it makes a lot of sense.
Welcome, Ms. Aisha. Thank you. And I know you work with Dr. Salouhou, and you are the program manager. And I bet you have a lot of challenges working for such a high caliber man.
A lot of challenges.
And how do you handle that, you know?
With a lot of passion.
I see. And how many times have you come to United States with Dr. Salouhou to help him out?
For 3 years.
3 years.
Wow. And how do you like our wonderful country?
Very much.
Do you like it? Good,
Yeah.
good, good. And did you have any challenges? I mean, to follow a man of such high power and high intelligence and so many languages, have you come across challenges being with him?
Sometimes.
Sometimes or every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
So it's an everyday challenge for you. And just to ask you this question, what is your message to the people out there?
Well, not to quote the current president of United States, Barack Obama, but really, everybody can. Okay, you just have to look at yourself and find out what is your center of gravity. But if you are on this earth, it means you have purpose, and you need to find that purpose and fight for that purpose, and don't let anybody take it. And then the next thing you do is you flip the challenges upside down. Look at the challenges as exam. But at school, you take exam, then you go to the next grade. And challenges are there to allow us to go to the next grade. And challenges are part of life. Okay.
I see what you're saying, challenge. Believe me, every day is a challenge. I bet you, every time you get up and say, okay, what am I going to do for Dr. Salouhou? Oh, this is it. I have to do this. And then you keep on going. Let me ask you this. If you ever get the opportunity, would you like to meet our president?
Well, I would love to meet him.
And what would be your message to him?
My message to him would be, first of all, I will congratulate him for the courage, because it takes a lot of courage. Okay? And then don't give up. I'll say don't give up, because winner never quit, and quitter never win.
Wonderful message, wonderful. So if you get the opportunity, you definitely want to meet our President of the United States. That's great. I mean, I would love to meet him also because, we both come so much from a different country and diversity, and Miss Aisha here and you originally from Africa and me totally from a different country. And I hope you don't mind. I'm going to ask you this question. I'm one person known to be throwing question out in a curveball. Have you ever thought of running for some kind of a government position? What did I say that made you laugh?
Well,
What did I tell you?
Well, when you choose politics, you decide to serve people.
Okay.
Right? And I have chosen education because I would like to transform people.
That is well said.
So,
education is everything.
Education.
If you have education, you have power.
Yeah, you have power.
Education is knowledge.
Is knowledge. And education that makes sense. I don't mean instruction. Very different. But because my teacher, Peter Custenbaum, and I came up in our research with this definition: people should be educated to create value for themselves, their family, their environment, and their country, as well as for the humanity.
Wow! When I asked that question, you really had it. You had it. Now, what type of support could you use from our community in Fort Wayne?
Well, very good question, and thank you for this question. The type of support I need from the people, from the inhabitant of Fort Wayne is that, come and meet our students. Come and learn from them. I believe in international exchange and cross-cultural exchange. For those who live in Fort Wayne and who do not have the opportunity to go abroad, our students could represent the windows through which they could see the world. Okay, so open up. Those foreigners are not bad; they are nice.
They are nice.
Okay, and they can teach you a lot. Okay, and we need to get out of our single story. And I can tell you, my experience with Fort Wayne has always been great. Wonderful people, really wonderful people, sense of value, family, etc. So let's take this to the next level.
I like the way you say, let's take it to the next level. And, people out there listening to you would come together and, help you out and help you with your vision, your mission, and hopefully you will accomplish, which you are a very accomplished man in my eyes, and a great honor to have you with this. And what is your final message, Dr. Salouhou?
Well, my final message is, first of all, I would like to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
You're welcome.
And I would like to thank your team, your project manager, and there's Amber, who is a taskmaster that I discovered. Our Paul, our cameraman, because you guys are a wonderful team.
Thank you.
I really enjoy spending this time with you. You should continue because I can tell you the show is totally natural, and I took a great joy being in your show. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Salouhou. Thank you so much, and thank you, Aisha, for being on my show. I know I put you on the spot and got you in the show, but I really appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Salouhou, and thank you, everybody out there. Khuda Hafiz.
That brings us to the end of this week's edition of The Goldie Show. Be sure to tune in next Thursday at 1 o'clock when Goldie's guest will be Uzma Mirza, an accomplished architect, artist, and community leader. I'm Sarah Ellsworth Hoffman. Remember, here on The Goldie Show, we believe that everyday people are worth more than gold. Take care, everyone. See you soon.